The San Francisco 49ers did it again. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we got some things we're going to talk about right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. Stick around, guys. What's going on, 49er faithful? Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. I know people are probably like, oh my gosh, we lost again and again. This team is cursed. This team is doomed. It's a lot to talk about, but they definitely got their butts handed to them. You heard Kyle Shanahan said that they got their whipped on last night, and they did. They got pretty much beat on. There were some good things, though, from this game, some positive takes if you choose to take that route. But a lot of stuff that the team, I feel like, still needs to work on. And you know, losing at home by 10 points, it's just like, man, like to the same team. Like, it's just the Chiefs, the Kryptonite to the San Francisco 49ers. It's like the Achilles heel, the one thing that makes this team weak. And, you know, however you feel about that, it's totally up to you. Me personally, they can't beat the Chiefs. It doesn't matter if it's regular season or in the Super Bowl. They cannot beat the Chiefs. And until this team can find a way to beat the Chiefs by any means necessary, and I do mean that, Chiefs will own the 49ers. And it's just what it is. I've accepted it. But that doesn't mean everything is end all be all for the 49ers. I don't think that they need to blow things up because they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think most of us thought we were going to lose this game. We just hoped, like I did, or I just hoped that they would have found a way to win the game. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, they lost 28-18. They lost by 10 points. And, you know, we don't have to move strictly forward from this game. We could talk about it a little bit. We could rehab on it. We can talk about what we saw, some of the things we feel like we want our team to do to change. But they got a big game coming up this weekend, Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to be honest, that game holds way more importance than the Chiefs game. If you're looking at it from a playoff, standpoint, from a mental standpoint too, because the Niners need to get back into the winning column, find a way to go 500 by their bye week. And let me just put this out there. I think if the Niners could get to their bye week at 500, I think there will be some changes made, and the Niners will figure out a way to find a way to get going after the bye week. Usually after the bye week, they come out on fire like it's the first game of the season, so that's good. They got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. We'll see how much of a challenge they'll be when we head down there after the bye week. But right now, the next game up will be the Dallas Cowboys, and they just got to figure out a way to get through that game. And once they do that, I think the 49ers will be pretty much good. Listen, check out our sponsors over at the show over at Residency, man. Go to www.com, www.residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezy. The link is also in the description of the show. So if you want to just click on it later, you can go there now. Use that promo code SFBreezy. You'll save on your total purchase. Shout out to everybody that's out there, man. I didn't say hi to everybody other than the good morning welcome. But my man 49ers Throwback is in the building. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Nick Nice 21 in the building as well. What up? Y'all already know what it is from me. Fire Kyle. He's on that fire. Kyle. Boom. Paige Bolts is in the building. My man Ben is in the building. What's going on, man? What's good? Fly Mac says, I'm done with such and such, David Lombardi, and his inability to hold Purdy's play accountable. I think I like everybody's takes because everybody does certain things a different way. I know a lot of people feel like I don't hold our head coach accountable, and I'm giving him passes after pass after pass, and I get it. If that's why you don't like me, that is fine. I do hold our head coach accountable for a lot. I do think our head coach needs to make some. I remember doing a show a few years back called Reflections, and I do think during this bye week that we'll have coming up in a couple of weeks, I think the reflecting starts with Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle needs to figure out what he needs to be and what he needs to do differently, to get his team on the same page. So I do have my issues with our head coach. It's just watching the football games. It's just hard for me to fully blame Kyle Shanahan for the game plan. I think the game plan was to run the ball, throw the ball. Game plan. I think the play calling needed adjusting. And I think that happens because Kyle Shanahan has issues with adjustments. I don't think that's who he is. I think he can do it. I just don't think that's who he is. And I don't know if that's because there's a lack, and I'm being really honest, I don't know if that's because there's a lack of trust and confidence in some of the players. And I think we as a fan base just want to see the players go out there and make a play, execute. But my rebuttal to that is, then why don't the players go out there and execute the plays that he's calling? So it's just weird because I'll see a bad pass. I'll see a drop pass. I'll see a missed block. I'll see a bad decision by a running back. I'll see all of these flaws, and then we just really focus on like the play calling. And so I think the timing of the plays that he calls could be an issue. I think Kyle Shanahan struggles with timing, time management, game management, like all those things Kyle has issues with. And we're starting to see it. And as far as accountability, I mean, he just doesn't take accountability. And that's his prerogative. If he's not an accountability taker, cool. Let me just ask y'all this question. If he takes accountability, what does that change if the plays are the same and the players aren't executed? Absolutely nothing. So we'll like him more because he takes accountability? I would rather just Kyle just find a way to get his players to win. I think for me, that's what it is. Will he take accountability? Probably never. Did he take accountability after this game? He said coaching. You could take that however you want if he's including himself in the coaching. I know he's narcissistic, so I don't think he is. But he doesn't say, I got to be better with my play calls. I got to be better with my decision making. He's not saying that as far as accountability. But I don't know. Saying coaching, maybe that's baby steps in the right direction for Kyle Shanahan. So I don't want people to feel like I'm always giving him a pass. But that's our head coach. Can we find a better head coach? Probably not. Are there better coaches out there that may be suitable for what we want to see? Probably. But right now, we're in the midst of playing football with a head coach that's going to probably have us at 500 by the break. I'm not saying give him a pass. I'm just saying it starts with him. He needs to do some reflecting and really start owning in on his coaches. And then the coaches need to do the reflecting and start getting the message down to the captains. And then the captains need to do some reflecting and start getting the message down to their players, to their comrades, to their it's a lot of reflecting that needs to go on because it's not just about finding their identity. I don't think the 49ers are capable of executing against certain defenses. I think the physicality of the 49ers offense is gone. I think the creativity of the 49ers offense is gone. And I think everybody needs to be held accountable. Everybody's making mistakes, from the coaching to the players. Mistakes. And the question is, can they overcome mistakes? And that's what we're struggling with. We've seen our team before overcome the adversity in the category of making mistakes. But for some reason this year, they just not built the same way. Or we could just chalk it up and say that the defenses are just more well prepared, the ones that we're playing. But you notice how Kyle Shanahan struggles against certain defenses. Aggressive man blitz. It's just a problem. And when your team is not built to be man beaters, getting open in man coverage, down the field, quick across the field, when you're missing those type of skill set of players, you're going to see some struggling. I can't sit here and say, oh, the offensive line. Yeah, I could blame the offensive line when they make mistakes, but it's kind of hard to block 6 people when it's 5 people. It's kind of hard to block 7 people when it's 5 people. I don't know if a team is dumb enough to blitz 2 guys, but some teams will because they're trying to rattle the brain of Brock Purdy. So look, Brock had probably the worst game of his career. I think this was even worse than the Baltimore Ravens game because I feel like at this level, at this stage in his career, he's a lot better. and he still struggled seeing the field. I know I couldn't have been the only person that saw that Brock Purdy wasn't seeing the field properly early. His throws even pointed to that. I was jotting down every single throw. Was it high? Was it low? Was it off? And Brock just looked off. Before he looked bad, he was looking off. And then off turned into bad. And then he got into the comfortability zone of starting to find a way to make a play. And I just think Brock, as he continues to learn and progress, he just has to go out there and find a way to play his best football and stop forcing throws. Where are the checkdowns? Why do we have to say this every week? Why are we not checking it down? Is it because the blitz is too quick? If the blitz is too quick, where are the screen beaters? Where are the blitzes? Where are the checkdowns? I think that's my thing. I watch other teams play football, and even in a blitz, there's a hot route. There's a check down. There's a quick throw is what I'm trying to say. Where's that? Maybe that's because the play call isn't designed for that, or I don't know. I feel like there's an out. If you know Kyle Shanahan's play calling, there's an out in every play, which means there's a right throw in every play. Literally. Let me get back to some more of these welcomes. Jax Knox is in the building. Hello, faithful. On to the next. Last night was because I wanted us to win badly. This week means everything. I hate the Cowboys. Yes. That's why this upcoming game is a rivalry. You know what I mean? Rivalry. Don't bother me. Salute. What's going on, bro? Christy Marie's in the building. Alejandro's in the building. Jim Everett, Noodle Arm Purdy, Rams fan in the building. Welcome, because you are welcome to talk your trash because y'all beat us. Like at this point, right? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I'm here because I literally just want, to provide that morning therapy, especially after a loss. You know what I'm saying? Corey, Wayne Breezy, salute. Love you, bro. Always love you too, man. 100. Papa J, Jim, I hate to admit it, but Brock Purdy did have a noodle arm. He was talking about the noodle arm. Yeah, it's not strong, but guys, we knew this. Why are we getting mad at stuff we already knew? We know he doesn't have a strong arm. Remember, everybody was pumping up because he got a little bit more muscular in the offseason. You have all the muscles you want. It don't make you stronger. It just means you leaned out and the muscles is popping through the skin. Miss Cynthia, what's going on? She says, hey, Corey in the building. Nah, this wasn't a Kryptonite game. The 49ers are just not real contenders this year. They're bad, and so is Purdy. Cool take. I just feel like the Chiefs, not the game, but the Chiefs, the team itself, is Kryptonite to Kyle Shanahan's San Francisco 49ers. Meaning that this is the one team that makes them weak in the knees to where they can hardly speak. They lose all control. I don't know if you know what I'm doing right here, so I'll leave that alone. But it makes them very weak. And so that's why I chose to say that I feel like the Chiefs, this game, because we've lost other games, but I don't feel like those teams are kryptonite. Like when we lost to the Rams, it's not kryptonite. That's Kyle Shanahan and the team just not executing when they needed to. Remember, Ronnie Bell drops that wide open pass, which probably secured the victory for the 49ers. They had little thing, not kryptonite. Well, who else? The Minnesota Vikings game, that wasn't kryptonite. Again, defense gives up an explosive play, blah, 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 blah. Everything else happens and hits the fan after that. So when I look at their 4 losses, the Arizona Cardinals game, blew a lead, couldn't stop the run in the second half. Not kryptonite. They just got the best of the 49ers, but the Chiefs don't lose to the 49ers. In my opinion, Corey, my brother from another mother, that's kryptonite. That is bomb ass. Yes, straight up. You know what they call it. What was that song they did called? What was it called? WAP, BAP, WAP, BAP. I don't know. They had a song. That's what that is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. My little bro Keith is in the building, man. It says easy game for y'all. He's Talk about them Cowboys coming up. I can see that. 2014, Mizell. 2014. 10 years. They can't beat this team. 10 years. 10 years. Interesting, right? Jerry, what's going on, fam? 10 years. Thomas in the building. 10 years. I know y'all be talking trash about me in my own chat. I'm trying to get some of the trash takes so I can read them real quick. Thomas says, y'all want to hear a weird stat? All right, Thomas, let's hear your weird stat. Brock 0 for 5 with 2+ interceptions. Jimmy, at the same point in the 49ers career, is 5-2. I think Jimmy's ability to not give a bleep about probably helped him out a lot. I don't want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo because he's no longer here, but I appreciate the take. But I do want to talk about Brock's mentality, and I think this statement, this comment, is why Brock struggles. I feel like he makes a mistake, he gets in his own head, and he gives a crazy F about the coach and pleasing the coach. And I'm not suggesting that Brock defies the coach. It's not what I'm saying. Can we go back to last year? Lake City, I see you, my bro. Can we go back to last year? Remember that play Brock Purdy threw and it resulted in a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk? Y'all remember that? And it was across the body. It was across the field. It was the wrong throw. Ayuk makes a hell of a catch. It was to him. It was a dot too. He goes up, grabs it, comes down with the touchdown. Do you remember that play? Show of hands if you guys remember that play. I do apologize. My voice got low. I'm just trying not to yell no more. I'm tired of yelling. Y'all remember that play? Because I want to talk about that play. That play. After that play is when Brock Purdy's mentality changed. Then he started playing timid. Do you know why he started playing timid? Because Kyle Shanahan ripped him a new, I'm telling you. And from that point on, he's been indecisive. He's been second guessing himself. He's still a good at times, but when the defenses are causing this mass confusion up there in his head, he don't want to make the mistake. And when he doesn't want to make the mistake, guess what he ends up doing? Making a mistake. If we go and look at the 3 mistakes of Brock Purdy in this game, he threw 3 interceptions. If we go and look at those 3 mistakes, and I'm being fair and only focusing on the turnovers, there was at least 4 tipped passes in this game. At least 4, not by defensive linemen. Remember I said to y'all, the only issue with Brock Purdy, I love this kid. I think he has magical tendencies. I think he can be a great quarterback. But when teams use his measurables against him, we will struggle. Guys, it is October and it hasn't rained yet, and we didn't even get to the rain, Brock Purdy. So my point is, you're watching teams use his height against him by putting these guys at the line of scrimmage that are able to get the ball down because he's throwing it low to prevent him from throwing it high, sailing over guys' heads, and it's getting batted down. These are the measurables because his height is his height. He can't change his height. He can't change his height. He can't change the strength of his arm. These passes, he had 2 explosive plays down the field, one for 40, one for something else. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't feel like looking it up. This ain't that show. And they were both underthrown balls. So just imagine if he had the arm strength. That's immeasurable. If he had the arm strength, these are reasons why Brock Purdy wasn't going to be drafted. He doesn't fit that mold of a typical quarterback. Now, this doesn't mean he's not better than a lot of these quarterbacks in the league. This is not me saying that he's not elite. I still think Brock Purdy is elite. He is just going to struggle against elite defenses, period, until he figures out how to use what they're using against him, against them. That's it. That's all Brock got to do. And that, my friends, is where I get mad at Kyle Shanahan, because I'm like, Kyle, you know that they're going to send the pressure. You know that they're going to do this. So just draw a curveball. You can't come and treat this game like it's baseball, man. My damn Mets lost to the motherfucking Dodgers. Treat this game like it's baseball. Your starting pitchers, your reliefs, they got to have more than a fastball. You can't just pitch a fastball. You know why? You got some hitters that are just waiting for the fastball. And as soon as you pitch that fastball, they going to sit there and take that shit right down the plate. They ready to swing. Got to change up the pitch. You got to have a change up. That's a different speed, different fastball. It's a slower fastball. Got to have a curveball. Got to have a breaking ball, slider, anything. And Kyle doesn't draw those things up for his guys, for Brock. So Brock, if I think Brock is out on the football field overthinking, overanalyzing. That's a problem. That's a problem. When you're overanalyzing, you're gonna make mistakes. When you're overcritical, thinking of what you're gonna do. All right, if I ask you, what's 1 + 1, and you overthunk that joint because you think I'm thinking that it ain't gonna equal 2, but you know it equals 2, you're gonna make the mistake. That's what Brock is doing. That's why the mistakes are there. Yeah, great game plan by the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator. I'm giving him a round of applause. This is what he does. But he's using Brock's limitations. Spag's defense don't play that great, even though they're a top defense in the league as far as taking away the run. Their passing game was damn near bottom of the league. We couldn't even take advantage of that. All I'm saying is Brock has to find a way to be him and his best version of him, even through adversity. And that is what's going to make him stand out, and more in that, that elite upper echelon. He'll never be considered one of the elites until he's able to win some of these gritty games. Because if we're going to call Josh Allen an elite quarterback, it's because he's able to win some gritty games. I just think that's what it is. And that's cool. If that's your way of defining what elite is, right. Well, I wonder why Kyle's not going back to the efficiency Brock. Yeah, we tried the Brock. We tried the big play Brock. It works from time to time, but against certain rough, tough, aggressive defenses, that don't work. What happened to him releasing the ball, getting the ball out of his hand quickly and things like that? What happened to that? So I think there's a lot of issues going on with the offense, not just the play calling. I think the personnel. I think George Kittle talked about it's different when he's in the huddle and you got this guy, and those aren't the guys that these plays are actually designed for. It could be a problem. It could. And these are not excuses. These are me saying that the players got to figure out a way. If this is the play call and you're a paid professional, you have to go out and execute it. That's just the way it is. That's the way it works. So, yeah, I got issues with all the players, all the coaches. There's a bunch of stuff, Araceli says, Kyle continues to play too conservative. Yeah, like the aggression is not there because, and this is my take, and no, y'all do not have to agree with my takes. I wonder if the play calling would be less conservative if Kyle was more comfortable with the people he had out on the football field. I know Kyle's comfortable with his offensive line. How do I know? Ask me how I know. Oh, because he won't upgrade it. Comfort there. I know Kyle is comfortable. You can see he was a little timid in using Jordan Mason. Why? Injury. We are not factoring in that our players are dropping off the football field left and right. We are not factoring that. And that's football. But I wonder how much of that plays a factor in what Kyle Shanahan is thinking and doing. I gotta get my guys. I had 2 more weeks. I gotta get my guys to this bye. We gotta find a way to coast in here. Listen, ain't nothing we could change about our schedule prior. If we could just be 500 at this point, we could refresh. I wonder if that's the game plan to the bye week. That doesn't mean they take the Cowboys lightly. I think they come out well prepared. But there was no Jawan Jennings, and I'm not using injuries as an excuse. I'm just saying I wonder if that's why he's not comfortable in calling plays. And if he lacks the trust of his quarterback managing the game all of a sudden, which is super weird to me because Brock was the ultimate game manager in 2023. Matter of fact, we fought and said that he's more than just a game manager. Cam Newton came out and called him the perfect game manager, and he's not a top 10 quarterback. And we got mad. Now we got a top 10 quarterback and the game management left. Brock, get back to efficiency, my guy. You don't know how. Brock. That's why I said I don't know if Brock is out there really just trying not to defy the coach, because everything he says in his accountabilities, I got to be better and I got to execute the plays that are called, which sounds like he's taking a shot at the play calls opposed to just saying it's my fault, blah, 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 blah. We could say he's taking accountability, but it's not full accountability. So at the end of the day, I need Brock to just go back to being why I think the faithful fell in love with him. And don't get it twisted. I'm the first one that loved the explosive play down the field. I love it. But I wonder if there's a reason that I wonder if the defenses look different. You could tell the defenses are playing the 49ers different. The players have said it. So if the players are saying that, then I'm not crazy for these takes. The players are saying, oh, yeah, they're a little different. They're making us do things a little different. They're making us have to adjust our routes or us to have to adjust this because they know certain things and certain tendencies. Then the coach needs to stop making the plays, I guess, a little less predictable. Just saying. That's why I'm not giving Kyle grace and all this. He's a predictable play caller. And if the defenses realize Kyle Shanahan's going to line this formation up with this personnel, the play is this. We've seen it before. Well, Kyle, this is where you got to use these other pieces that you don't fully trust in. There's no reason why Jacob Cowing shouldn't have the Ray McCloud role. No way. I don't get it. He's faster than Ray. He's got better hands than Ray. He's a better wide receiver than Ray. Yet you trusted Ray because he was a vet. Bump the veteran stuff. I don't wish injury upon any player, but man, if these veterans continue to get injured, he's going to have no choice but to play these kids. And I bet you if he just play the kids, it'll be a spark that he's never seen before. And then he can really see what these guys can do. That was my biggest gripe with Trey Lance. Kyle wasn't playing him. And then when Kyle did play him, he made him only do read options. Design, not even the read option. Quarterback power draws up the middle. Opposed to just letting the kid come out there, make his mistakes, and learn football. And I get it. We were in a win now mode. We had all these pieces, super team. I get it. I get why. I'm just saying, like, you got these pieces, you got these young guys, got to find a way to develop these kids. And the only way they're going to develop is by getting out there on the football field and actually making mistakes. Because the key is, how will they learn from their mistakes? That's the key. So we lose this game to the Chiefs. We lose this game to the Chiefs because of not taking advantage of the opportunities that were presented right in front of them. And it is what it is. Look, I see a lot of takes out there, man. Like, and none of y'all takes are wrong. Look, I'm not trying to defend anything, especially anymore. I think right now I'm praying hard for just the health of Brandon Ayuk, not even to play. I just want him to be okay. I think that's where, once I seen him get hurt, I'm like, all right, my energy shifted more toward, all right, God, we need your help. We need you to, provide safety and healing for this young man. I know a lot of people are upset with Brandon Ayuk. I know Brandon Ayuk hasn't been producing since the signing of his new contract. I just want to put out there, this is why he did what he had to do. Football it flashes just like that. Like that. No contract, no guarantees, injured. Now he would have been SOL and no contract for next season. And I don't think the 49ers would have did him a solid like the Minnesota Vikings did Justin Jefferson, because they wouldn't have been financially able to do that. Where we watched Justin Jefferson get injured last year, and then they offered him his contract extension following. We watched it. I don't think the Niners would have been they would have been able to financially do something like that. So they did it. They gave him his contract. But this is why players hold out. This is why players do that. They need to make sure they have some type of security. Can't blame. I was on my Facebook page. And no, I was on my Instagram. And I was just reading some of the comments about him getting injured. One person said he did this to himself. That's what he gets for not showing up. Like, what? Like, you can't be a 49er fan saying that, right? Like, he did this to himself. I mean, I literally watched his knee bend a way it's not supposed to bend. And he didn't do it. Like, he didn't say, here, knee, go the opposite way. Huh? Like, how can you say that? Okay, did he not show up to camp? For sure. But how can you say he hurt himself? So I need y'all to pray for me. I be struggling with some of these comments, and I try not to read them, but that doesn't make any sense. Has he been a shell of himself this season? Yes. Has he been the Brandon Ayuk we're used to seeing? Absolutely not. But to say that this man that caught a first down pass, nice route, hurt himself and he deserved it? We got to do better, faithful. Please. I'm all for people and saying what they need to say and getting their take off, but please keep them tasteful and respectful. That was kind of messed up. Now, we could talk about Deebo Samuel if we want. I can't measure a person being sick. I don't understand how we could do that. Oh, well, this person showed up playing sick. Maybe they were over their sickness when they showed up. Maybe they were sick and then they got over it, whereas Deebo just got sick and couldn't get over it. And let's not act like he didn't try. He was getting oxygen. He went to get the IVs, and he was just sick. I realize if you get paid, you can't get sick. And that's what I'm trying to understand our mindset. You do not ever get sick. I better hope I never get sick. I'm not getting paid, but I'm just saying, because when you get sick and you aren't available, they're going to come for you. I don't know. Deebo wasn't sick on his podcast. Podcast was recorded, right? Podcast was before the game, right? So this is a dumbass take from a dumbass team. To say that he wasn't sick on his podcast, for sure he wasn't sick on his podcast. The podcast was recorded some days prior to that, right? See, I didn't mean to call you dumb. I didn't call you dumb. I said the take was dumb, though. So I just want to put that out there. I appreciate you. But my point is, he got sick. Like, players get sick. They're human. They're human. Humans get sick. Animals get sick. Don't eat the sick animals. People get sick. But we're mad. I think I'm more upset that we couldn't figure out how to adjust when he got sick. But the moment he was sick, it's like, oh, shoot. I hope he's able to play. And we don't commend him for trying to play. You know what I'm saying? So people, I know the real content creators try to cook me. The cool thing is they don't do it to my face, right? That's cool. But I'm not being a homer. He just got sick. I just sat here and ripped my coach and Brock Purdy a new butthole, but yet I'm being a homer. It is what it is. But cool. He got sick and he tried to play and he didn't play. It's cool though. I just don't get why we got to hold him accountable for getting sick. Maybe he shouldn't have got. I just wish he didn't get sick. I wish a lot of the stuff that happens doesn't happen, so that the fan base doesn't look at that and say what it is. I mean, I guess the Rams suck because Puka Nacua got hurt. I guess the fan base sucked because Cooper Kupp got hurt. I guess the Rams just struggling, but this stuff happens. It just does. At this point, if he was sick, he was sick. He tried to play, he couldn't play. He tried to go, he couldn't go, and then that was it. Team still got to find a way. Like they got to figure it out. They got to find a way. My issue was not him being sick, but the team not being able to overcome that adversity at that moment. And that is why I get mad at Kyle Shanahan, because I knew Kyle was going to buckle and be timid when he lost his X factor. That was already in. I seen it happening. I was hoping that Brock could pull some magic out of his hat, keep the offense flowing, do certain things. I already know that Debo was going to be a huge part of the game plan if he was healthy. And I know people, and I know the fan base, not people, I know the fan base are mad because Debo didn't play. He was sick. He gets hurt all the time. That's cool. But he was sick, man. Like, it is what it is. Don't get sick. That's what I'm learning. Like, don't get sick. Key. Don't ever get sick. So look, but then here's the thing. Debo was sick. He couldn't play, and the Niners still missed their opportunities to win this game. I think that's my issue, right? And had we won the game, we wouldn't have cared about Debo getting sick. We would still be concerned about Brandon Ayuk, but maybe he wouldn't have got. I don't know. Things happen for a reason to this team, and they have to figure out, how to face this adversity. We're waiting on, you know what I'm saying? We're waiting on that report. I think we all know it's going to be an ACL injury to Brandon Ayuk. But we're just waiting. You know what I mean? Like we're waiting and we're praying at this point. Not even for him to play. Like at this point, we're just praying that he's just going to be okay or whatnot. So we'll see what happens, man. Maybe, for the 49ers, I'm not saying that it's over. Feel like there's a lot of football left to be played, in my opinion. We got other players. Let's just give these guys the opportunities, The only player that I think the fan base doesn't want to see is Ronnie Bell, and that's fair. I think you get Jacob Cowing, the rookie. You get Ricky Pearsall, the rookie. You get these guys in there. Chris Conley is a savvy vet. Why is he not being utilized more? He clearly can catch. He clearly can find ways to get open. Utilize these guys, and I think we're going to start to see some of that. I think we have no choice. But then when you start starting those guys, there's another area of your team that's gonna, and if the special teams is bad now, it's gonna be 100 times worse when you start taking off the special teams players. So the Niners got a lot to figure out. I can't tell you who's right now, like off the top of my head, like who's on the practice squad, but they do got some guys, so that's a good thing. And they got some vets. Trent Taylor probably get called up. I know people don't want to. I'm just saying. He's a vet. So we might start to see some of that with the injury to Brandon Ayuk. And it's going to be a lot to take in. Moving forward. But the 49ers, to me, in this game, they just didn't show up. And they didn't show up in the beginning. And their energy was off. The defensive energy was on. And they weren't balanced. They needed to be 33, 33, 33. And I think the 49ers 33rd percent was just off. And then special teams went from their 33%, and then that you took it right back after giving up a 55-yard reception. 55-yard return. And it was just like, dang, they made a play and they gave up a big play, and It gave them great field position. Now the defense got their back up against the wall. They got to try to keep Patrick Mahomes and his offense out of the end zone, and it's just weird. So the offense was lacking. Special teams went back to normal, and at some point, I know you and I knew that the defense was going to fold. Like at some point, the defense was just going to say, okay. So there's a lot of stuff that the Niners got to do as far as before even executing. They gotta stop mentally doing dumb stuff. Like literally dumb stuff. Literally. They gotta stop getting penalties. Stop getting. Jordan Mason had 2 explosive runs in this game for over, I would say, 15 yards apiece. Let's just average about, say they would have been 15 apiece. Remember, we couldn't run the ball. Now, we could say those runs were explosive because they were holding calls on Trent Williams, I believe, one, and Jake Brendel on the other. And you can say because of that hold, Mason was able to get free, but those be the things I'm talking about. They got to figure out how to start limiting those silly penalties that's giving them a spark. And after that, they tried to run inside, smack, negative yards, 0 gain. Like the Chiefs defense, was on point. You know what I mean? The Chiefs defense was on point. All right, so that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs defense was on point. And the Niners couldn't figure out a way to kind of like get out of that web of the Chiefs defense. I don't think they had the personnel to run a trick play just to catch them off guard and slip in a little bit. We did attack them. Brock Purdy did make some good throws down the field. He did attack their rookies. He did. Brock Purdy had a bad game, but at times he made good plays. It's just what it is. You could say that Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes had an identical game. For some reason, Patrick Mahomes found a way to come out on top, and Brock Purdy couldn't get his team. The timing of these turnovers be an issue as well. Like the timing be crazy. All right, let's get to some of these questions out here. So Rams own SC. Appreciate you, fam. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry that I'm a joke. It is what it is. They said I'm making excuses. Okay. I want to know what excuse I made for the players not executing. And I'm saying that I thought the Chiefs went out there and did their thing defensively. I didn't think the offense was that quote unquote electric. They haven't been, I think, for the past couple of seasons. Hey, does anybody know, you're a Chiefs fan, right? Just curious, for the Chiefs fans out there that are watching, what was y'all record like early last year? I would say the first 8 games. I don't remember. I don't feel like looking it up right now. But can anybody tell me what the Chiefs record? I remember the Chiefs looking bad at the beginning of last season. I'm asking for a reason. I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus or whatever. I just want to know. Nigel says, at what point did you think the 49ers lost this game? That's a crucial question because I felt like they were in it. Even with all the adversity, I felt like they were in it. I felt like they gave up a big 33-yard run to Patrick Mahomes, and that was the seal. That was the seal. That sealed the deal is what I'm trying to say. That 33-yard run was like, it looked like the defense deflated. 33-yard run. Mark says it was the miss. Did we miss a field goal? We missed the extra point. I think we missed an extra point. Millie Money said when Ronnie Bell dropped the ball. What ball did Ronnie Bell drop? I missed his drop. Damn, I missed it. I missed Bell's drop. I saw the route, but I missed his drop. So if he dropped the pass, my bad. I didn't see that. All I know is he almost caught a touchdown. Like that he almost did. But his knee was down. Interception in the end zone. Oh, I like these. Yeah, the last pick. The interception in the end zone. I'm trying to figure out what Brock was seeing. What was Brock seeing? I'm trying to figure that out. What the hell? Like, oh, you know what I want to know? I got to watch the film. I want to know why that wasn't the George Kittle play. The past 2 games, that was a George Kittle play. And I want to know, where was George Kittle? On that play in the end zone. You know what I mean? I just want to know. I want to know. I want to know where George Kittle was on that third interception, because usually he's running the quick kind of like run, stop, go in, kind of like out. And I'm just curious to know, where was he lined up on the football field? That's what I'm saying. I didn't see it in live action, but it could have been something like that. But I feel like it was when Patrick Mahomes ran that ball for 33 yards down the sideline because the team didn't know if they could tackle him, hit him, or whatever. It was just like, dang. And then they get the ball right there. They right at the goal line. Felt like they was in it. Wasn't they in it? Wasn't it 14-12 at that time? I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff for the 49ers that they had. And that's the thing, right? Every time we play the Chiefs, every time we play this team, every single time, the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there. Every single time. And we just fail. Why? What? The one test that the Niners can't pass is the Kansas City Chiefs. One test. All right, let me talk to my boy. My boy Mark S. Benosa says, serious question. If Debo is sick, why play him half the game? Why not sit him out? We got to hold him accountable for leaving the team hanging. They plan for him to be there. Who are we holding? Are we holding Debo accountable? Are we gonna hold the team's doctors account? Like, who are we holding accountable here? And I'm saying, because if he was too sick, then the coach should have said, nah, you can't play. But do you not give him credit for trying to play? I don't know how to really answer this question, because now I feel like we're blaming Debo for playing sick, and because of that, the game plan was all thrown off. But I think the game plan was the game plan. So whether he played or not, the game plan was as if he was playing. I don't think that would have mattered. I think Debo just tried to give it a go, but then why didn't the team say, nah, you not? Is there not a sick test for the teams to pass? I'm just curious, because if that's the case, if you're too sick, I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question. I think everybody, like, my thing is, he went out, he tried to play, and then realized it was getting the best of him, and he just couldn't do it. But is that me giving? I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm giving him an excuse. I mean, he just shouldn't have showed up to work. I guess that's what y'all saying. Like, don't show up to work if you're sick. Then if that's the case, then okay. But I don't know, man. It's tough. He got sick, and I don't know what to say. I don't know. I can't measure a person sick. Like, if I get a sore throat and you get a sore throat, mine might be more severe. Yours might be more severe. You might be able to tolerate the pain. I can't tolerate it. I hate sore throats. It makes me weak. I don't know why. I feel like my ears are going to hurt. My equilibrium's off. I'm stumbling, bumbling. Like, I can't play with a sore throat. But maybe you can. I don't know how to look at that. But yeah, it's tough. Living and Die says, if you're too sick, don't sit on the sideline playing, cheering, and go get yourself better in the locker room. Oh, okay. So he was sick, and then we got mad because he was on the sideline playing and cheering for his team, rooting for his team. Okay. So he should have just went out. Cool. Jerry says Kyle can't adjust his complicated game plans. Here we go. Now we talking, man. This is the bell of the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the issue with Kyle Shanahan. This is it. This is my beef. This is why I be mad at him. I think for me, I just kind of just said, damn, this is who he is. He just ain't going to be able to adjust it. He's not going to be able to adjust. He's not going to be able to simplify his game plan on the fly. Or he won't simplify his game plan, period. Like, it's two takes about Kyle Shanahan. Two takes. Jerry, I'm with you on this one, though. Like, Kyle, this ain't it. This is the Kyle that I'm struggling with, because I believe he's a genius, and when his plays work, they work. But when he missing pieces to make his plays work, man, he looked like an imbecile. And I don't know if he has the ability to be what we think he should be as far as that type of an adjusting type of a coach. But then that's why Kyle needs coaches. Like, hey, what you seeing? Hey, what you seeing? Like, the great head coaches, in my opinion, has a team that they trust. And whether you show them that you trust them or not, you can show them by trusting them, by taking their ideas and implementing them somehow, some way. You ain't got to say, hey, man, I trust you. But if you take that idea and you implement it, that's letting them know that he was listening to me in the meeting. I don't think Kyle can figure that out to save my freaking life, yo. I just don't. I can't figure it out. So Kyle's got a lot of growing to do. Can he do it in the season? I don't know. We hope he can, right? We're hoping that he can. It's tough. Like, this is a tough loss. Like, it's definitely a tough loss. But at the end of the day, the 49ers got to find a way to, like, move past it. It's just what it is. They got to figure out a way to move past it. The 49ers have worked out another kicker, Jake Girardi. So they're going to be working on another kicker. Don't ask me about any injuries to anybody at this point. They're going to be working out another kicker / punter. So that's what it says he does. He's a punter. He's a kicker / punter. He's punted 53 times for over 2,550 yards. And his long career punt is a 73-yarder. He was a kicker in college at Southern Utah. He was their place kicker. So is this to bring in? Remember they asked Kyle Shanahan about the kickoffs? Remember that? They asked him about the kickoffs. And so maybe he's going to come in and possibly be the kickoff guy, the guy that can get the ball down the field, right? In the end zone, touchback. That way special teams ain't got to make no tackles. I think that hurts the special teams a lot. You know, I think that hurts the special teams a lot. So, Hurricane 774 with a question says, do you think we need an OC like last time? Now, I don't know if this was his title, but I do know, Hurricane 774, thank you for this comment, I do know that Mike McDaniel was well trusted. Kyle Shanahan trusted this man with his life. Straight up life. Trusted him. So, do I think he needs an offensive coordinator? To answer your question, yes. I think, but it's got to be somebody that he trusts. That's what it is. It's got to be a person that he trusts that's going to get the job done. And if he doesn't find that guy, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't freaking think, you know, I don't know. The offense is stagnant against these particular type of defenses. Heavy man coverage, blitzing defenses, the offense struggle. Max is right. I don't know Max, but Max, you're right. Can't beat the Chiefs. Kryptonite, bingo! That's the title of today's show. Boat says I'm old enough to have watched the game. Oh, he talked about basketball. I'm sorry. I got you. Oh, no, he's saying you can't compare the MJ. I got you. I'm with that. We talked about Jordan playing with the flu. I saw that in the comment. You know what I'm saying? I get it. They got to you know what? They just got to figure out a way to keep themselves relevant and strike when the iron is hot. And I think that's the 49ers game plan for this season. You know, like, no excuses. I know I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just curious to know, like, the Niners, Elijah Mitchell out for the season ending IR. They're waiting on the word for Christian McCaffrey. Got to put him on IR. It's Jordan Mason. It's a rookie. It's a veteran running back. I don't know what Kyle feels about that or what he's seeing, but clearly he doesn't trust the run game situation in the red zone, right? Mason is excellent when there's space to be had, but in that red zone, he cannot get in. Now, I think part of that's because the offensive line just isn't blocking well enough, but he also was hitting wrong lanes. It was a play. He could have had a rushing touchdown where he could have walked in, but he cut the wrong way. Everybody making mistakes, y'all. Everybody making mistakes. Roger says, Wayne, did our D play Pop Warner football we can't tackle? Fundamentals. It comes down to the freaking mentals. Rusty, my man Rusty. If you guys don't know Rusty, he's my favorite person to hang out with when I'm out with the games because he just makes everything fun. He has more energy than me, okay? I'd like to blame the refs, but we can't this game. Well, I'm not, you know what? I didn't talk about the referees this whole show. I did not talk about the referees this whole show, but I will ask the refs, can you be a little bit more consistent with what holding is? Because you call holding on Trent Williams, and it wasn't a hold, but you didn't call holding when Nick Bosa was literally choked around the neck. So I'm kind of confused on what holding is. That's it. And if I can understand that, what holding is in the referee's eyes, I'll be cool. But other than that, you right, bro. Refs ain't do nothing. It's a pretty fair game. 4-6. 4 penalties, 6 penalties. I dig it. We had a big one on special teams. So I'm not mad. I just wish that they would be a little bit more consistent on what a hold call is. What a hold call. I don't feel like that the team needs to, I don't think the team is imploding and you need to blow everything up. I don't think we need to drop bombs on the 49ers as of yet. The season's not over. The season's not over. They could still find a way to stay afloat. Remember, win the division, secure a playoff spot at this point. Win the division, secure the playoff spot. And that's got to be the goal at this point. Baby steps. And let's go out there and let's win. Is this the last game of October? Let's go out there and close out against the Dallas Cowboys. Finish October strong. Get to 400. And then everybody can take a much needed mental break from football. I would encourage when the 49ers go on their bye week that we buy too. Like buy. I mean, go away. Like don't even watch football. F football, F fantasy. Don't just take a break. Everybody, let's go through a reflection period and just enjoy that week of no 49ers messing up. Like that, I think that's what I would encourage everybody. I know we're not going to do that, but I would encourage that everybody just take a break so that way we can be supercharged and refreshed coming off that bye week. But we got to get there. And in order to get there, they got to find a way to get over this hump, let it go, and focus on the team that's coming into town. And I don't know. I hate when the Niners lose at home. It's just not a good feeling. But I'm going to be honest. I didn't have us beating the Chiefs. I wanted us to beat the Chiefs. I believed we could beat the Chiefs. But my prediction was that we weren't going to beat this team. And it's just because I haven't seen it yet. I feel like that's a fair, valid point. Until we beat them, we can't beat them. So that's my take. Guys, you guys have been real. We got one more question from my bro, Ronnie. He says, Breezy, with the trade deadline there, what position could the team use the most? If I'm being honest, if I'm being honest, I still think our pass rush is subpar, bro. I still think our pass rush is subpar. I don't like it. I I I I think I think Leonard Floyd is more situational. I think you need an every down guy to go along with Nick Bosa, possibly a younger player. I think Nick. I think Nick, because I was thinking of Nick. I think I mean D Ford. I think Leonard Floyd needs to play that type of a role. In the Niners, if they can go out and get like an Aziz Ojulari, um, for at least for the remainder of this season, I think that would be something that could give them a breath of fresh air. It's kind of like what they did last year with Chase Young. Maybe that's the route that they go. I think they add another edge rusher. I think we're lacking not in pressure, but finishing at home and getting that quarterback down to the ground. Now I know teams are different. I know we don't blitz, and that's why you need multiple pass rushers. If we're not going to blitz, and the reason why we don't blitz is because we don't play great man coverage. When we play man coverage, we get burnt. So the blitzing can't be prominent in the 49ers defense like we see some of these other teams play defense because we're just not built that way. So you got to find another edge rusher, in my opinion. That's who I get. Talib wants Dexter Lawrence. Now you're gonna pay a premium. I hear the rumor is that Myles Garrett is teams are calling about Myles Garrett. That's a premium. V Lucky says they don't invest in the secondary. Yep. Nope. They don't. That's it. They want guys that can play great zone defense. Zone. It's all about the zone. It's all about not giving up the explosive plays. I think they need to just find a way to get some guys that could just be good DMS man corners. I miss having a guy like, and I'm thinking man corners from back in my time growing up, but Deion Sanders, and then if you take it to the decade after that, it was Darrell Revis, like just man guys. Like even Jalen Ramsey in his prime was a great man cornerback. Like, you know what I mean? There's some good man corners out there. It's when you switch that concept. All right, man, you got to grasp the concept of the zone. You're responsible for this part of the field at this time. You need to get here. I think that's where the Niners struggle, really, in communicating defensively. Really do. Dexter Lawrence would be a godsend. The question is, Champ Bailey, come on. Darryl Green, nobody was faster than him. Can you listen, I'm telling you, some good man corners. I think they need a man guy. So then they can still play zone and have man on one side. At least give the Niners a little thing. But they're, like you said, they don't invest in those guys. These are some good guys. You know what I mean? These are some good guys or whatnot. Nigel, do we need a player to help the offense? Garrett Wilson. Her teams are calling about Cooper Kupp. Mike Williams too is going to be probably the wide receiver that they move, and I would love Mike Williams on this offense. Can you imagine having Mike Williams and Jawan Jennings out there in any type of personnel? And I know a lot of people don't know who Mike Williams is. I need you to go back to the Chargers days. You know, prior injuries and who he was. Big target. If Brock is going to throw this ball down the field, and this is what I was trying to say, if we're going to change the game up for Brock to be a quarterback to get the ball down the field, then you got to give him those kind of weapons. You got to give him a guy that can go and win a 50-50 ball, right? Pass going to be a little underthrown, but you can catch the ball at the high point at any given moment. That's Mike Williams. That what it would be for Mike Williams to be with the 49ers. For one, it'll give the 49ers what they need, and I know we don't need another wide receiver, but listen, we don't know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. If you could get him for the remainder of the season, I think he has, what was it a 1-year deal that they traded? I don't know what this contract is in New York, but if they're looking to move him, I wouldn't mind Mike Williams. I wouldn't want Garrett Wilson here. We don't need him. We got too many Garrett Wilsons. We got too many. Mike Williams, like, bingo. You get the bell too. Who is one of my favorite receivers in the NFL, by the way? Mike Evans. You get him, you will have a guy that can win those type of passes. Why couldn't he do that with the Jets? They're just discombobulated. But we're seeing a different version of what Kyle wants the offense to look like this year. You know what I'm saying? So why not get a guy that can win those passes down the field? It's a 50-50 ball. And if Brock is looking to sling that thing down the field, to open up the field, to open up the way that the defenses are playing, got to get a guy that can go down there and catch some of those passes. Jashawn Page, what's good, man? It's good to see you. He says, what up, Niner game? 49ers to draft Marlo Wax, middle linebacker out of Syracuse, good in coverage and stops the run. So let me make sure that I write that name down because I'll start watching him. So Marlo Wax, all right? Marlo Wax. Question is, where's he going to go in the draft? Well, I haven't done any type of draft, type of coverage whatsoever. I just haven't. And so you're talking about Garrett Wilson being the possession receiver. I think that's where Ricky Pearsall is going to be. But I think we have the possession receivers. I don't think we need another possession receiver. I think we need a guy that can get the ball, pluck it out of the air, and come down with a pass, especially on those big, long third downs. Brock is looking to throw the ball down the field. I don't know where the efficient type of possession move the chains. I don't know where that game is gone. I don't know if that's because Christian McCaffrey isn't playing and the defense already knows kind of like what we're doing. I don't know. All I know is Mike Williams will be cheap. Mike Williams is looking for a shot to prove himself. I don't know what the health status of Juwan Jennings is either. I know he has the hip injury. I think Kyle says he should be just hoping that he's good to go against the Cowboys, but just knowing our luck, it might be a little bit more severe than what we think. But I'm holding my hopes up. But Garrett Wilson would be good at this. I just don't know if you want to invest in giving up draft capital for a possession receiver that you're going to have to give a contract to. So I would go after more of a vet guy, if that makes sense. So it's not saying he's a bad choice. It's just, that's my thing. Guys, man, I love y'all. He is injury prone, but so is every other San Francisco 49er. That's just a fact. It's just what it is. But you're not lying. You guys are dope. You guys are dope. Thanks for the therapy session. Appreciate you for letting me talk for about an hour. I enjoy listening to you. We need a whole offensive line. I ain't going to stop at the center. At this point, just give me the right tackle, the center. Start there. Start chipping away, upgrading at them two positions. We should be good to go. And see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Steven has a nice comment about my man, Jacob Collins. True burner, can jump and catch. Jennings is a great possession receiver for sure. That's why I said it would be cool to have a guy. Now, with Jacob Collins, you got a guy that can take the top off the defense. You got Jennings that can move the chains. I believe Ricky Pearsall is going to be doing some of the Deebo Samuel stuff out of the backfield once he gets acclimated. If you could just get a 50-50 guy, like just give me a 50-50 guy. All right. But that's Juwan Jennings too. So Juwan can't be the 50-50 guy and the possession guy. If they do look to get any help, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after a wide receiver on the offense due to the injury to Brandon Ayuk, if he's not willing to trust these young guys. But give me the defense. Kansas City won this game because their defense is just phenomenal. I'm big up their defense. I thought their offense was subpar, but their defense was phenomenal. Offense made plays when it needed to. Defense was consistent all game. And if the Niners' offense would have made plays when they needed to, their defense would have looked a lot better than the way it finished. So that's my take on the joint. 49ers got to figure out a way to overcome the adversity and find a way to win. And a must-win game, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what the coach say. It must defeat the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Guys, you've been real. I got to get out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Wayne Breezie Show. Until the next time, I'll see you Wednesday with John Chapman. Game plan right here, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Peace.